If Voldemort were to succeed and prove himself as the highest power, he would get to decide the highest good. He would be able to shape the narrative for who plays the hero and who plays the villain. Incidentally, Voldemort being defeated only proved his point. A power stronger than him got to decide who was wrong and who was right. Here's one way to look at it. The strongest body of power in the wizarding world isn't one particular witch or wizard, it's the government. The Ministry of Magic stands as one of, if not the ultimate might in the wizarding world. They get to decide what laws and regulations everyone should follow. It's no mistake that Voldemort preyed on the Ministry of Magic as one of his most important targets. He understood that the majority of people aren't led by notions of right or wrong. And if he could make what he was doing legal, then he could justify his actions to the world. He understood that most people simply do whatever they want as long as it's legal. The average man has no moral code. Worse yet, trying to make others see how their actions are harmful will make you hated. You'll be seen as judgmental. You'll do nothing except exist as a painful reminder of their own teetering morality.
Now, as long as you're just hanging there, pay attention. The only rules that really matter are these. What a man can do and what a man can't do.
These people allow the government to control their moral compass. Ipso facto, if they could legally steal, destroy, and maybe even worse, just to get what they want, they would. The only thing stopping them is the law, and since the law is the highest might, it gets to dictate what makes right. We saw the same thing happen when Voldemort had control over the Ministry. Under his rule, the treatment of Muggles as basically slaves was commonplace. Anyone who dared speak out against it was seen as a Muggle sympathizer and dealt with. This is obviously analogous to how governments all around the world treated slaves a mere century or two ago. It's easy to sit on the sidelines of history and make judgment calls, but the fact of the matter is, nothing has changed. There are vast numbers of people who are only kind and agreeable in public because they cannot legally act on how they feel inside. They're in danger of losing their job or their freedoms if they act otherwise. And it's not always a bad thing. The point is that if they could, if the law turned a blind eye, they'd allow themselves to indulge in every hateful and disgusting urge that their ego commanded.
That is nasty.
Even religion is not opposed to this idea. Most people in a religion simply do whatever they want as long as it's not considered a sin to their belief system. And that's just the ones that at least try to follow it. The fact of the matter is, if their God commanded them to do terrible things, they do it. They have no real moral compass. If their God and their government let them, they would. Again, even God, the highest might, decides the highest right. This idea stands in opposition to a key component of the hero archetype. A hero has their own moral code that sometimes clashes with the government and even their own god. No morality or moral code is perfect, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't strive towards the highest idea of good. Sometimes our ego gets in the way of our own morality. We start to rationalize evil as an understandable choice towards someone we already hate. It's all too easy, and the line between hero and villain can be razor thin. But if we don't play the hero in our own life, then we're destined to act out a role assigned to us by someone else.